Ok, sejam bem-vindos. Hoje nós vamos falar sobre comparative adjectives. Comparative adjectives, que são adjetivos comparativos. Ou quando nós fazemos comparações de coisas. So, mais alguma coisa, menos alguma coisa. So, what are comparative adjectives? O que é um adjetivo comparativo? Adjectivos comparativos, comparative adjectives are words used to compare the difference between two things. So the one of the main things that we need to remember is we have comparatives and we have superlatives. I'll put the link to superlatives also if you'd like to see the video about superlatives. I'll put that up and to the left and down in the description. But with comparatives, we're only talking about two things. I can't use comparatives to compare many things, only with two things. So, for example, smaller, bigger. Two things, one thing is smaller, one thing is bigger. So we start off with small, pequeno, and then smaller, mais pequeno or menor. Big, grande, bigger, mais grande, maior. So when we make comparative words, you must change the adjective to the comparative form, like we saw with smaller and bigger. So small becomes smaller. In other words, we add er. Mais. Mais. Small becomes smaller. Comparative adjective rules, regras. With regular one-syllable adjectives, we add er to make the comparative form. So small becomes smaller, fast becomes faster, late becomes later, big becomes bigger, fat becomes fatter, tall becomes taller, and on and on and on. With regular one and two syllable adjectives that end in y, we remove the y and add ier to make the comparative form. So, for example, happy is feliz. Then, if I want to make the comparative form, then I'm going to take off the y, remove the y, and add ier, and it becomes happier. Notice that the pronunciation is the same as though it were happy with a Y and then But the grammar simply says that Y becomes I. There's a reason way back in the grammar that they decided that Y should become I. If I'm not mistaken, it started happy with a Y and then over the years it became IER. Now, with adjectives that end with a single vowel followed by a single consonant. This is what we call CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant. So adjectives that end with a single vowel followed by a single consonant, the consonant is doubled and ER is added. What does that mean? That means CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant, then we double that last consonant and it becomes bigger. Just like with fat, gordo. Fat, F-A-T, consonant, vowel, consonant. Then we double that T. Fatter, F-A-T-T-E-R. This isn't 100% of the time, but most of the time, that's what's going to happen when we have CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant. With two-syllable adjectives that don't end in Y and all three-syllable adjectives, we add more. So beautiful, for example, becomes more beautiful, not beautifuler. Delicious is not deliciouser, it's more delicious. All of those kinds of adjectives that have two syllables and don't end in Y, and all three syllables or more. Four syllables, we have four syllable words, five syllable words. They're not as common, but uh, if they occur, then they're also going to have more. And then we have our irregular comparative adjectives that don't follow the rules. So we just have to remember that good is better, bom, melhor, just like in Portuguese. It's irregular. We don't say bom mais bom. Bad, worse is not badder and gooder. Não, é como ruim, pior. Far, further. Longe, mais longe. Right? So why is this irregular? Because the A becomes U. The farther does exist, but then we have to get into what is farther and what is further, and that's a conversation for another day. Well is better, just like in Portuguese. Bom, melhor, bem, melhor. Ele é bom, mas a irmã dele é melhor. Ele joga bem, mas a irmã dele joga melhor. Much and more, so muito e mais, many and more. Muitos and then mais. So let's practice. What is fast? Fast then is
Faster.
good. Faster. Slow. What is slow? Go ahead. What is slow?
Slow, lento.
Right,
But
but
I can remember
what's the comparative for slow? Mais devagar is
fast.
what?
Fast.
No, what's the comparative? Ela dirige mais lentamente do que eu.
Slowly.
Slowly é lentamente. Slower is the
Ah,
comparative,
lower. Oh,
right?
I
So
was dubbing myself.
slow, lento, slower, mais lento ou mais devagar. Strong, what's the comparative?
Stronger.
Stronger. Stronger than yesterday. Big,
Bigger.
bigger with two G's. Happy,
Happier.
and how do you spell it?
I'm sorry.
How do you spell happier?
Um, oh. Mm,
Como
With
soletra? How do you spell
ah.
happier?
Mm, oh my God. I forgot.
H
H. H A P P I.
I
A
E
H.
E R. I E
Oh.
R.
Happier.
Happier. So the
Excuse me.
Y, we take off the Y and we add I E R. Cold,
Colder.
colder. Hot.
Hotter.
And how do you spell it?
H O T T L
E R.
R
E R.
E R
Yeah.
E R. Not
Cheap,
A. Cheaper.
cheaper. What is cheap?
Barato.
Barato. Good.
Not so expensive.
Boring.
There's no sense. Boring.
How do you say mice?
More boring.
More boring.
Oh, okay.
Two
Three
syllables.
syllables.
And what does boring mean?
Annoying. Not
No,
so. I'm sorry.
in Portuguese. What does it mean in Portuguese?
Entediante.
Entediante, very good. A lot of people say chato, and it's chato, mas é chato de entediante, e não chato de annoying, right? So,
No, a notion, a nonchalant person is the same like boring.
a what?
Nonchalant person. Nonchalant person.
A nonchalant?
Nonchalant. Thank you.
So a nonchalant person? No, I would just say a nonchalant person is just like, da da da. Nonchalant, but it doesn't mean necessarily that they're boring. Just means that they're I don't know, they're not focused. They're just like, whatever, that's fine.
Ah, okay.
Sometimes it can be boring to be with a nonchalant person, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. Handsome. What would the comparative be?
More handsome.
More handsome. What does handsome mean?
Uh, attractive.
Handsome is attractive is bonito. It's you don't call a man beautiful. You call a man handsome.
Handsome.
And most students don't know that you don't use beautiful with men. Expensive, what's the comparative?
More expensive.
More expensive. Interesting,
More interesting.
more interesting. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody for being here. I will put the superlative video right here, and you can click on that and learn more about superlatives too. Until next time, I'm Teacher Willie. Keep studying and don't give up.